Well, TJ, Andrew, pleasure to see you again as always. So we're here with TJ at TFAT's Auto Spa Mobile Detailing, and we're at his garage right now where you could also come to him if you're looking for items like ceramics and other stuff. But TJ's got a pretty interesting story on how he got into the auto detailing world and, where he started off. And I don't think TJ, from what I remember you telling me about a year or two ago, you got into detailing thinking about doing detailing as an 18-year-old when you were, younger. So I guess start off with just letting us know the story about how you got involved with the detailing business.
Right. Man. Well, first thing, thanks for having me on the show. The detailing business has been so cool. It's been awesome to be able to be in this industry. Obviously, part of my former career were playing as an athlete and playing here in Tampa Bay for the Buccaneers. So playing football for 3 seasons there, 2 creative seasons, playing up, at a high level. Proceeding, of course, going to college, graduating in college, going into high school, being born and raised in Lagos, Nigeria. First time in America when I was about 12 years old in Philadelphia. So I've been very fortunate and blessed to have a lot of different experiences and, being very versed in many different areas of life, seeing many different segments. Right about when I was going into finishing up high school, I always, had a thing for the car world, and my family does, and we always had a thing where you're not going out to dinner if the car isn't clean. You're not going out to the game days like without my car being clean.
Yeah.
It was just like such a lifestyle embedded into me early on, and I give my brother credit for that because he was very much in the car sales for a while there, and he loved to always try to keep everything clean. And so whenever we're at home, I'm like, bro, I got to take my car and get this thing clean before I even play tonight. Like, I've got a Friday night game, Friday night lights at high school, my little Honda Accord, got to be the freshest thing that is there. Like, it was always a thing for us. And the beauty of it all, of course, going through the NFL, playing at a high level, and then, suffering and, career-ending injury, kind of really, set the track for what we have now. We'll be 8 years old at TFATs in January.
Yeah.
And it's really incredible to even say that. I'm fortunate, I'm blessed with the support of our community. I'm so grateful for the great, amazing people that this town has just really took us in, right? And coming in off the football strength of it to now developing a business and a sustainable business and one of impact. And that impact translates to, while I were in my playing days, I would always host TFAT Faith and Hustle Youth Development Camp, which was a youth camp that was about, honestly, yes, we're going to be the best athletes that we could ever be, but what does life look like, right? I was fortunate to have a great surrounding growing up in Ohio, where I went to school, high school. And, it was one of those things that the surroundings let me understand that you're going to be the best athlete, yes, but we want to ensure that your mental, your emotional, financial understanding, these things have a surface in your life and that they're never neglected. And that was part of my whole camp, right? We'll run out there and run drills. We'll train them up. We'll get after it, real fun, high-level stuff. And then on the flip side, we would do kind of the resource side, right? What's business acumen like? What's your financial understanding of, literacy like?
Yeah.
What's your emotional, spiritual, right? Knowing that all of this connects, and what also is physical. So it was so fun to be able to start that young. I was right about 25 years old, and I kind of really was understanding, like, this can be something for me. And I unfortunately got a, career-ending injury there, and had a chance to get back in it and things of that nature. But that really transpired into how can I create the next steps of life and really create impact. And I think really my business is all about impact. It's one of those things, if I can chase money and I can make a ton of money, but impact would always be felt. Money comes and goes. And so I really took down that position, and I am into this thing deep, and creating a culture to really elevate people, have fun elevating people. And that's the fun part.
So I guess the follow-up question I would have is, you're at that position in the NFL, and it's like you feel like, okay, this is it. why did you look at, auto detailing, mobile detailing? What did you see in it? Did you start off with all the crazy packages like PPF, ceramics, stuff like that? Or did you just start off with the basic wash, wax, interior vacuum detail, right?
Yeah, definitely. So that's a great question. I started off with the basics, right? I wanted to create a unique experience, which was a high-end feel of an experience. I think I credit that obviously to my exposure in my life at the time where I started my business, which was that most people love to be able to trust a place to be able to take care of their cars. Most people want somewhere they can feel that no one is trying to take up on them or up them or make them feel uncomfortable. And I noticed in the industry at the time, back in 2017, that there was a lack of integrity, truly.
Yeah.
And that was kind of where the brand for us was, we want to detail with integrity. And that trademark has kind of been a name for us and a thing for us, because if I can levitate the understanding of integrity, I will leave a positive experience and impact on every person that ever does any kind of service with us. And obviously it started out at the gas station on West Shore, right there.
Yeah. So tell that story for a second. So tell the gas station West Shore, because this is the first story you originally had told me.
Yeah, so, coming out, that was right about January that year of 2017. I was injured. I was in rehab still, getting my knee back, getting my shoulder back. Well, getting my knee back at this time. And it was just very much a passion. Like, I want to create something. I want to create my own organization. I want to create my own culture. I want to create my own team. And, at the time I was just still rehabbing. And so I knew I would be personally, right? You're a person, you're here with God. I know I'm going to get back in the league.
Yeah, of course.
God has his own plans.
Yeah.
And at that time, I'm like, I'm going to get back in the league, but I'm going to create my own team, my own culture. And then from there, we'll be able to, have everything set up for people, and we'll do this, we'll do that. Just all these amazing plans. Well, how do I get this started? I really didn't want to go ahead and try to buy a whole garage building that I had the resources to do at the time as well, but I did not want to come into this without truly understanding the basics and the fundamental of an industry, truly. And I started at the gas station across from Seasons 52, West Shore and North B. Shout out to my West Shore family. And they took us in, and it was one of those things that we wanted to create a high-end luxury experience, even outside of the gas station, right there at the subway. It was about, you're going to feel the customer service. You're going to be wild at the fact that you're pulling up to a gas station and you've got real professional people talking to you, or at least young kids, and at the same time, I wouldn't say young kids, young adults. And certain older individuals that were there to impact how to really change the direction of their head, of their mindsets. And that's how it started, man. And, we stayed there for about 2 years. And, I was almost back to the NFL again, had a workout, and then I blew my shoulder out at the workout.
Yeah.
And that was, I think, the story that really, at the workout there, the deal was on the table, you blow your shoulder out. Now it's like, all right, I got to go pick up the shovel and dig everything out now. So that was when things really changed for us, too.
Yeah, so the interesting part of that is really that professional luxury experience. And like we were talking before we started this show, is, you just don't really see it superficially in the detailing industry. Is, for the listeners, I started off doing detailing as well. And, there's just not that high quality product from a lot of people in the marketplace. And, we don't go on the show to diminish anybody who's out there hustling. But at the same time, there's some people you'll hear a constant thing of, oh, well, this guy will come out and do the full inside, outside wax 3-hour detail for $100. And, that might be true, but what is the type of quality of service you're getting? And I think that's why you could talk about why at TFATS, and I've seen it, I've known it, and this is why I give my referrals to you always, is what are you guys doing that separates you, which we did just talk about some things before.
No, 100%. And I think really the investment of picking a service with us is the process.
Yes.
The process, right? From my background alone is really what I know.
Yeah.
Playing at a high level like that in the NFL, if you're going to run through the football and you're going to run 40 yards, you're running 41 yards.
Yes.
You see what I mean? You're not stopping short. And you're not cutting corners. And you're not saying you're going to do something you're not and don't do it, right? So there's so much of that emphasis in our culture here, which is to exceed expectations and really find the best process each and every motion and each and every time on, right? For instance, we're yeah, you may get a clean car. If someone's paying you $100 or you're charging $100, you may get a final product that looks clean, but how was the process on your luxury vehicle or just your standard car? Where was it things that are in between there, a certain way you're spraying a product, right? Is the dilution ratio correct and synchronized throughout the entire organization?
Yeah.
There's someone out there spraying something on your car and just guessing, waiting to see maybe it reacts wrong or right. Well, let's not even talk about the service side of things on that regard, right? The quality of work, but the communication, right? The dependability, trust factor, right? Consistency. There's so much that makes that value of the job. And I think that's really what separates us is that we pay attention to all of those things.
Yeah.
To create a 5-star experience, right? And we have to consistently create that. And as we recruit and as we hire and as we train, it has to be very transparent to everybody. And at the same time, leveling up people that are used to the industry that here's maybe that kind of format of I can kind of get by and I can kind of maybe cut a corner, I can maybe not show up. Changing that mindset alone is a cost.
Yeah.
And now, at the end of the day, yes, the cost for the business, but you're paying your dollar to have the best experience possible.
Yeah.
And I can't cut you short of your experience. So the hard work on the back end is to deliver that 5-star product.
Yeah, and you know what's funny from my experience when I did detailing is I noticed that there really is like two types of customers. There's the super specific, like they're looking under the microscope at everything, right? And then
those guys, we make you better.
They make you better. And then there's also the type of customer out there, and maybe I just so more experienced this with moms that they just want a quick car.
Yeah.
And you get the car clean, and they're happy. Happy as can be. So I would say, what do you notice more of as you go along? Now you obviously have, your own operational procedures with your people, and they're kind of gelled into the system. But how frequently? I would say, on what percentage of complaints that you get would you say that's on my guys versus like, hey, they're really asking us to do way too much? Because that's something I experienced was, they're looking for the tiniest piece of brake dust under the back wheel well that nobody would ever see driving. And as soon as they pull out of the garage, they're going to have that brake dust in the wheel well too. And keep in mind, I got like 99.9% of it clean, but we ain't perfect. Not even Lysol is. Not even Lysol is. So what percentage of the customers that, like, first off, I would say how often does that happen where somebody says something or claim? And then the second thing would be what percentage of those are factually correct? Like, hey, we might have made a mistake here.
Right. Truthfully, we're so fortunate and blessed at the processing team that I have.
Yeah.
Being able to understand the level of quality of work that we really want to place out at that.
Yeah.
Andrew, and I say this wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
Rarely ever get any complaints on our work.
Yeah.
The complaint that I probably get the most is I wish you were more available.
Yeah,
and
that's tough.
And the toughness of the more available is the fact that to train to get people prepped to do a high-level services, yes, if you have a Honda Accord, if you have a Toyota Camry, if you have a Lamborghini Huracan, if you have a Performante, there's one way of work that we do it. And there's a level of training that needs to be done to be able to execute a high-level service, to give people what they pay for, and give people the enjoyment, the satisfaction. We don't want to shorten that.
Yeah.
And so my biggest is obviously always make sure we're as available as possible. So we're always hiring. We're always looking for people to come and join our great team, right? But on the flip side, there's always little increments of work being better, right? Okay, did we maybe not communicate early enough?
Yeah.
When something is kind of been present, right? You want to always make sure that people are taking initiative in your team to communicate early enough about it. It's like, hey, I did see this on your car, but, I went after it, right? You know how those situations goes. I saw this. I felt I can go after it without maybe telling you about it and trying to get it, but now I'm done everything I can do to get it out or maybe clean it.
Yeah.
And it's not happening. So now it's like you didn't do a good job like I thought you could.
Yeah.
That's such a trick spot, right? And we have faced some of that. But truthfully, overall, we've been fortunate at trying to deliver at a high level. And my guys are so they love feedback just the way I do. They love to get the feedback. When we ask for it, right? Consistently ask for it. And they ask individual clients as well, like, what can I do to better serve you before it escalates and gets up to me to where I try to find, burn out some fires or clear out fires. So we've been fortunate to have a solid crew, solid teams, great customers and clients that understand our effort and that also give us the opportunity to perform at a high level.
Yeah, so talking about availability, if I'm home at my place and I decide I want a mobile detail from your services, walk me through the steps I have to take as a customer, and then, how your guys are going to communicate with me as they're coming into my facility, apartment.
Sure. So we do push a tech-forward style of service. Each and every one of our clients and customers has their own portal. And so as you're calling in, hey, I would like to get a pro detail package done. All right, yes, sir, yes, ma'am. What's your location? What's your email? Phone number? Get your profile set all up. You know what time it is that you are looking to get this done. You're at the gym, or you're at your condo, or you're at your office, or are you bringing it into our detail studio. Once that's all set up, you get the buzz on your phone. You know what's going on. As our team is en route that day of the appointment and prior to the appointment, you're getting a reminder, giving you a deposit, doing all those things that are checks, right, and balances. And then as our team is on the route to your location, you do get a notification.